he's putting shutters in there, I think.
Yeah, shutters in here? Yeah, that'd be nice.
Let's see, this is the first coat. He's going to end up putting a second coat over this. We got one coat of primer on here before, so that's the proper way to do it. We had rough spray texture on here, and that's why we're putting one coat of primer and two coats of finish paint. Now, if this was all existing, Jim, and you were just doing a repaint, you'd just put one coat of finish paint over all this, right?
Correct. Yeah. Unless you're going with a deep tone color, you gotta do two coats. But basically, on a color like this, you would just go. That means we got new drywall, and we got old existing wall, and then new drywall on here, and new texture. I'm just giving it a good seal, so it's going to be done. It's going to be completed, and there'll be no holidays, that's for sure.
And what if somebody said, "Oh, I heard all you got to do is one coat of primer and one coat of finish." What would you say to somebody like that? I mean, you could do it that way, but
yeah, you could do it that way. But if you're working in your home and you want to get it done and have a really nice finish where you're not going to have any issues pop up later, then why not just spend an extra 15 minutes? Or why not spend just an extra $10 on extra paint, you're going to use, and have it good and sealed, and then you know yourself, you've done everything you could to make the job look really good.
Yeah, and that's most of the time on a brand new house. They'll put one coat of primer, two coats of finish. Gives your second coat of finish and overall your body, full body look, in case your first coat of finish kind of soaks up into your primer a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially raw sheetrock.
Yes.
I found that kind of interesting. Now Jim's using the wall color paint on this little ceiling of this little bay window area, and remember the ceiling out here in the dinette is a different color, and I asked him, I said, "Aren't you going to do that the same ceiling color?" And he said, "No, he's just going to use the wall paint here," and I think that makes sense. It kind of blends in.
Yeah.
Even though it's on this little sectional wall, because it's a bay, you can do it that way. If this was the same color as the ceiling, yeah, you could get away with it. It's just going to give you a slightly different look. So, you make up your own mind on that.
Yeah, it could be.
This is going to look nice, Jim.
Yeah, I think we're coming along here. And so far, we probably used about 1.5 quarts of paint. So we got a gallon of paint, gallon of finish, which will be plenty for this area in here, and a little minimal area we have in the kitchen area to paint. So a gallon is plenty. And we like the eggshell finish, which is just below a semi-gloss and brighter than a matte finish for washability in here in the eating area. I think it's a nice finish to have.
Now, eggshell is considered the finish. They also have a color called eggshell, but
correct.
we're calling this eggshell, meaning the finish, kind of like a low sheen,
exactly,
enamel, satin type look.
Yeah.
One step below semi-gloss,
one step
right?
below semi-gloss, one step below satin, one step below. So yeah, it's finishes. I think gloss finishes don't use a lot of. Some people like gloss on trim to accent trim, but I like the semi-gloss look. On the trim, doors, walls, I like satin or eggshell. In the kitchen, bathroom areas. But like we said, a lot of people use throughout the whole house satin or eggshell. Use the whole, keep it all the same. So it just depends on your own preference of what finish, type of sheen you want. But on the most part, kitchen, bathrooms, eggshell.
Now, before he started this, you can't really see it, but he put masking tape, 1.5-inch masking tape all the way around the windows. You can't really see it. And that's why, if you put that on there nice, you can then go back with the paintbrush. You don't have to cut this in right now. He's just using his paintbrush and getting it nice, full body paint on there and not having to worry about cutting in because he used that masking tape. And because he's taking that masking tape off at the end of the day or no more than tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Then you can use your 1.5" regular masking tape. You don't have to use the blue masking tape.
Correct.
That blue masking tape up there, that was just to hold something up there temporarily. But if you're going to have your tape on there for 3 or 4 days, then you go with the blue tape, wouldn't you, Jim?
Yeah, and then also if you're cutting in, like say you're taping off door trim and you're doing a different color on the wall, or you're coming down with white door trim and then your walls are beige, you can use the blue tape for a nicer, cleaner line when you're doing that.
Oh, okay.
And then there's different types of blue tape too. There's different types. There's some that have a crepe paper texture, and then some have a slick, smooth texture to the tape, which leaves a cleaner, finer, nice, clean line for you.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're doing with what tape too.
Hey, if you're gonna do a color change, not a color change, but one wall is one color and one wall is another color, and you're doing the cut-in for your masking tape, like you're saying, how soon can you put your blue masking tape over brand new paint?
Yeah,
And
overnight.
that's it. And know that it's not going to peel any of the paint
Yeah,
off.
overnight. And it's for delicate surfaces, the type of tape I was talking about, for delicate surfaces. So, usually overnight for a dry time for the material, paint, and then tape, and then do your trim, or the next day you can have a nice clean trim line. So yeah. So it's looking pretty good. Coming along. Getting good. We got most of the big areas rolled out here. As you see, we're kind of coming along to a point of working over here in this little desk area. So I'll get going right here, down here.
We still have our inspectors here, hard at work,
Yeah.
making sure that Jim does a good job. Hopefully we don't have to pay them overtime today.
I hope not. The profit will
Well, we
shrink.
started early.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a free lunch, didn't you?
free lunch.
Yes,
Huh?
thanks to our supervisor.
Thanks to our auntie
Thank
and
you.
uncle here.
Thank you. for
Thank you
lunch.
very much for that.
Always good to, you gotta have fuel to work.
Amazing fast, but real good.
Gotta have fuel to work. And always good, and always better to have another set of eyes watching, making sure you know that everything's covered, and check things out, and then your second coat will erase any doubt that you might have on coverage. The second coat will erase any doubt that it's covered as you come back.
Oh yeah, you can see it now.
Yeah, you can see it on the top line, the difference of the color change.
Yeah.
The antique white, a subtle change, but a nice different. You can see the change, and that's the main thing. If you want to do two colors, make sure you see the change. You know,
Yeah.
it's
There's your color change there, and then
contrast.
in a minute, once Jim gets done with all the wall, he's going to come back and cut it in. Now there's a question, Jim. If you got 2 coats of paint, are you going to have to cut in twice?
Sometimes not.
Or do you leave it kind of thick and try to do one?
Most of the time, if I'm rolling up to the edge of the ceiling, when the ceiling's white, I'll maybe do a little, if the brush, roller stroke or roller mark is there, I'll brush it off real quick, but it doesn't have to pay a lot of attention to it the second time around with the cut-in. So just make sure your brush and roller marks disappear. When you're changing out a color, you got color on the wall, you got a color on the ceiling. Just make sure you, when you roll up to it, that you leave no brush marks and roller marks. And you'll be able to see it if you don't get it worked out. But most of the time, I don't have to cut it in again unless it was a darker color.
Well, so in this instance, what are you going to end up doing? Because I still see you've got a line up there. You're gonna
On the top of the ceiling line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cut that in.
You're gonna cut that
I
in
don't see any line there.
one time?
Yeah,
Or
that'll
There it
be,
is.
Yeah, a quick one.
Can you see
Because
it?
we're gonna put crown
Can you see
molding
it?
up there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, but we're gonna cut it in all the
back
way.
there.
We're gonna cut it in. There's crown molding
see
that goes
that
up here, but he's
Yeah.
gonna end up painting this. Now, if there wasn't gonna be crown molding, would you end up going up there twice with
Probably, yeah.
your paintbrush?
Yeah, just to make sure it's covered good, because you got such a subtle color change, you want to make sure, so it's always safe to go back over it.
And would you do the cut in now and then do the next coat with your roller, or would you do your second coat with the roller and then do the cut in just twice? Boom, boom.
Second coat with a roller, and then just cut it in. You probably could make it cover with one, so you just have to see.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'll do it twice.
Okay.
Just roll it up there close like I did before, and then brush it out. I think it'll go quite smoothly.